So this is a lovely fun topic, but I wanted to talk about being an artist or a creative person and being mentally ill. Originally I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about being mentally ill or being chronically ill, as I am both, and they're kind of interlocked and connected for me because I am chronically mentally ill as well as chronically ill in a physical sense. However, I'm going to start with mental illness for no particular reason, just it was pick one of the two. I'm going to try and keep it succinct because I've recorded this a few times and I keep just babbling on and not knowing what words to say. But being mentally ill, and being an artist or creative person of any kind is hard for so many reasons, and I find that often it's romanticised. For instance, Van Gogh and his mental illness being romanticised, and other artists who've had incredibly hard struggles and creating beautiful work from those struggles, it's often seen as a good thing, and people then, romanticise and be like, wow, see, isn't it great to have mental illness in the sense of it being an advantage in the art world? But it's not really the case. It's not an advantage because being mentally ill for most people, and for myself personally, as I'm talking from my own personal experience, is a massive disadvantage. I struggle to get up in the morning, I struggle to do daily tasks, I struggle with my mental illness. And that makes it hard. That makes it hard to express myself, that makes it hard to share my art, it makes it hard to do art in the first place. So, personally, I really object to the idea that being mentally ill is a good thing in that way. It is a part of who I am. I don't know who I'd be without it, but it's not good. It's not helping me. It's not something people should want or be jealous of or feel they need, because so many people succeed without it. Actually, that's the norm, to succeed without it. So many people obviously do succeed with it, but it's a different struggle, it's a different path, and often it's harder. Personally, it's hard to do art. I'm not proud of my art. I hate calling myself an artist because I feel ashamed and like I'm not at the same quality of other people my age or younger than me. I feel like my art isn't good enough. I feel like I am not good enough, and that is part of my mental illness, and part of the reason why my art is not that good is because I'm mentally ill. It's because I don't find the time of the day to spend making art. I don't have the time to practice because I stress so much about all my other responsibilities. I stress just from nothing to the point that I find it incredibly hard to make art, and if I do, I'm so self-critical, I can't finish it, or I just destroy it. I don't upload it, I don't want to upload it, I don't want to be proud of anything I do because I don't feel like it's good enough. There's always someone better than me. And that's the truth of it, there is always someone better than me, there is always going to be someone better than me. There's no real need to be comparing myself like that, but I kinda can't help it. That's the way with anxiety and depression and the copious other mental illnesses that I've been diagnosed with. And this is my experience. It may be different for someone with different mental illnesses. It may be different for someone who has all the exact same illnesses diagnosed that I have, but they cope with it different. Because people, they're different. They cope differently. They have different backgrounds. They have different advantages and disadvantages. They have different strengths and weaknesses. The way someone copes is up to them, and hopefully it's a healthy coping mechanism because that's what most people want, right? But it is something as an artist or a person with mental illness that you have to cope with, you have to learn, you have to find a way, and I'm still finding my way. And I don't know if I ever won't be, but I'm going to be trying at least. And I guess the main thing is that it's hard. It's hard for me, it's hard for you, it's hard for everyone in general, but it's especially hard for people with mental illnesses to just keep up, to find the motivation, to not hate themselves and hate their work, to be able to get up and go to uni, to have that drive, that motivation, it's hard, it's a struggle, it's constant, it's draining. It's the whole thing with holding a glass up with your hand is easy, but if you have to hold it there all day, every day, for a week, a year, you can't hold it anymore. It's draining, it's endurance. And when you're constantly sick or constantly struggling, it weighs you down. It's hard, you're going to drop that glass eventually. And I guess in a sense the best thing to do is just pick it back up. If you haven't heard about it before, there's a theory called spoon theory, and it's a theory about how much energy I guess you have in a day. I'm pretty sure it's for specifically chronic illness, but it has been used also for mentally ill people. And let's say you start the day with 10 spoons, which is less than a normal person. Going to brush your teeth is 1 spoon. Going out to do shopping is 3 or 4 spoons. Going to uni would be 5 spoons, 6 spoons. By the end of the day, you're exhausted from doing just normal tasks. And if you go out of your way and do more than you're physically capable of, which you can do, and some people don't understand that. They feel like if you can do it, then what do you mean you can't do it? It means that the next day you start the day with less energy. Even sometimes multiple days. You have to stay in bed, you have to sleep in, you have to rest, you have to recuperate because you overexerted yourself just from doing general normal tasks. And for a lot of people who don't struggle with this, it's confronting, it's hard to deal with, and it's hard to understand. Spoon theory was a metaphor made to help explain this, and I really suggest you look into more because it's a good theory and it does a good job, way better job than I could of explaining it. But I guess that's most of what I wanted to say. Just being mentally ill and making art, or being an artist, or being creative anyway, is hard because you're always going to be self-critical and comparing yourself, and it's such an oversaturated kind of thing. But there's still a point to it. And even if you don't have success, there's still a point, and you can still do it. But I guess I just wanted for other people who struggle to know that it is okay to struggle, and your struggle is not invalid. And for people who don't struggle to know that it's a struggle and to understand how it is a struggle. Because I think that's part of the issue, that people just, they can't understand because it's something they've never experienced. So hearing other people's stories does help you empathize and sympathize and understand to a degree, and I guess that's just what I want, more understanding, and for people to know better and to feel like they are allowed to struggle, because you are. It's going to happen, and in no way are you weak or wrong for struggling. In fact, you are strong for continuing to try. That was kind of deep, and I'm sorry for that, but I hope you have a good day, a good evening, a good whatever it is where you are and whenever I upload this, and thank you so much for watching.